There is a famous Chicago, not Chicago, Sue Fink. And she was on America's Got Talent, and I kept getting all her email from all her fans, and so I differentiate myself. And this is amazingly basic for a little guitar. Yeah, that's good, thanks. Well, so this is song and story, and I'm going to tell you stories, but some of them I'll tell after the song. So this is a song, I'm going to tell the story afterwards. It's the story of my childhood, how I got blamed for everything that went wrong within an 80-mile radius, and the effect that it has on me today. It's called Black Sheep Kid. Any black sheep out there? All right. There usually are in a music audience. When I was a child, it was all my fault. There wasn't much I could say. They made me apologize for everything. I'm still doing it to this day. Oh yeah, still doing it to this day. My sister and I, we fought mercilessly. Even now I couldn't say why. But when my parents came, she would scream my name, and they'd make me apologize. Oh yeah, they'd make me apologize. Or if kids in the neighborhood got in a fight, I might not be anywhere near. Somehow the melee would still be blamed on me. I was sorry for most of the year. Oh yeah, sorry for most of the year. 'Cause when I was a child, it was all my fault. It didn't matter what I did. Life was just a game, I was the one to blame. 'Cause I was the black sheep kid. Oh yeah, I was the black sheep kid. That's the full band. Oh yeah. Let's say we were going on vacation, so I could be wrong in some new city or nation. We're driving down the road, all us kids in the back, amidst pillows, books, and games, and some sweet sticky snack. And let's say someone's elbow pushes into someone's eye, accidentally, of course. You know I would never lie. Let's say my sisters turn to me and scream, "She did it!" Perhaps I'm feeling obstinate and refuse to admit it. Dad says, "Apologize or this vacation's over." Let's say I simply smile like I just cannot be bothered. So he turns the car around, headed straight back home. When the transmission fails and we're nowhere near a phone, our parents start to fight, we kids all have to pee, and everybody's blaming the whole big mess on me. Ooh, I'm sorry. I'm sure it must be something I did. If you're upset, it must be my fault. I am the black sheep kid. Layoffs at the plant? I'm sorry. Deforestation, that's my fault too. Ooh, this is such a strange song. I apologize to all of you. Oh yeah, apologize to all of you. 'Cause when I was a child, it was all my fault. There wasn't much I could say. They made me apologize for everything. I'm still doing it to this day. Oh yeah, still doing it to this day. Oh yeah, still doing it to this day. Hey, 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 hey. Thank you. So, I do like to begin a set with that because now I've apologized to everybody. So if I do anything wrong, I feel like I got myself covered. But how that song came to being, I usually get either a line or I'll get a sorry, I was just a line or an image. And in this case, is there something coming out of? There it is. in this case, I got the line, when I was a child, it was all my fault. There wasn't much I could say. And I thought it was really funny, and I thought, I'm going to write a song about my childhood. And I start writing it, the actual things that happened really weren't very funny. And I didn't want to write a whiny song, because, like, nobody ever wants to hear me whine. I don't even want to hear me whine. And so in order to keep it going, I had to just basically make each verse top the next as far as ridiculousness. And that's where the fiction comes in. I'm a fiction and poetry writer first, and I came to songwriting late. So that's how that came to being. That song and the song I'm about to do now are on my new CD called Treasures and Time Travel. And it's about the treasures that we keep and the places those treasures allow us to travel back in time. So in this case, it could be, maybe it's a letter you stumble upon from someone and you immediately travel back to where that time was. Or maybe it's even a person who just says, oh, did you hear about Joe or Betty? And you're like, oh yeah, Joe, Betty. And you're out of the filing system of your brain, out they pop, and you're right back in time. So that's not the story of the song, but. So what's going on? Oh, at least it's not like my braces or something. Because when I was younger, that was always the fear. So yes, I'm sorry. It's all my fault. So what should I do? Anything? That's really cool, isn't it? No, now it's not doing it. It is doing it. That's so weird. I couldn't figure out what was happening. I was like hearing voices, and I thought, sure. You want to do that? Should I unplug?
Yeah, you can unplug. That's
that didn't happen with your no.
Why don't you leave it plugged in? That way, if it works out on the recording, we'll use it.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, we'll use this.
Oh God. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna need yeah. Okay. Thanks. Can you all hear the guitar? Horoscopically speaking, their relationship was doomed from the start. He was a Gemini, she was a Cancer. Love the elixir, youth the enhancer. Now he's filed away under B for broken heart. She remembers that night they were jostled on a crowded street. Drunk, streaming out of the loud college bars, he scooped her up like a baby. His eyes shone like stars and he said, see, I just literally swept you off of your feet. And oh, in his arms she was lighter than air, her head on his chest and he breathed in her hair. The crowds disappeared, so he put her back down. They walked side by side, they walked on and on. They spoke not a word, and night turned to dawn. Oh, she remembers how everyone just knew that they were a thing. They'd meet in the quad when they finished their classes, intending to study, but their books in the grasses. They kissed as magnolia blossoms dropped in late spring. And oh, how she nestled so safe at his side. Wrapped arm in arm, they swayed like the tide. They'd walk through the cemetery late at night, the soft summer winds, the moon shining bright. death at their feet, the geese wild with flight. Oh. Now it's decades later, it's the 21st century. How had it ended? Does she even remember? A misunderstanding late that December, and it couldn't be fixed, so they went their ways separately. Now she hears that he's married, a wife and 3 kids in LA. Hears that he works for a large corporation. He went to Aruba on a month-long vacation. She wishes him well, not much more she can say. But oh, how she'd wept on that long ago night, when goodbye seemed unreal after some silly fight. She thought things would turn, she thought he'd come back, but the wild geese had flown and the sky was all black, and the days turned to years and life had gone on. Now she holds an old letter from a faraway dawn. Oh. Horoscopically speaking, their relationship was doomed from the start. He was a Gemini, she was a Cancer. Love the elixir, youth the enhancer. Now he's filed away under B for broken heart. Yeah, he's filed away. Thank you. Thank you. So the story behind that is I came up with that first verse. I usually get a line or I'll get an image. In that case, it was the line, horoscopically speaking, their relationship was doomed from the start. First verse came right away. Then I couldn't come up with any other verses that I thought equaled the writing to that. It was the curse of a good first verse. So I sat with it for years. I would try and I couldn't do it. And finally, it started to come. And then it took a turn for the sad that I hadn't planned on. That's where the song wanted to go, so I let it go there. And I liked it. This next one came from a dream. And I don't remember the dream itself. But I got an image and I got words. The image I got was of an old man lost on the side of the road. He can't find his way home. It's not someone I knew from real life. And the words that I got were tracking system. Didn't know what that meant. It was so haunting. I thought about it all day long, could not get it out of my mind. And I realized I'd been given a gift. And you know, when you're given a gift, you don't always know how to use it, so you just say thank you, and then you have to figure out how to use it. So I think I'm telling the man's story from that, and this is called Tracking System. 83 and out on the road. It's dark, he's afraid, and he's so far from home, or perhaps not. What was he thinking? Why did he leave his forehead wrinkling? Rivers of ice cream drip down the front seat. Oh yes, to the store for this peppermint treat. His wife's favorite flavor, but she died in June, so she won't be waiting, but he should get home soon. Old man pulled over on the shoulder. Stars dot the sky, indecipherable code, giving so little light to this insignificant road. Inside his car is a tracking system, a gift from his son, who explained it to him. Just type your destination and she'll give directions. Her voice somewhat friendly with few inflections. Turn left at the next light. But how does she know? She's up in the sky, can see all the roads. She must see him now, so shattered and shaking. If she's there in heaven, her heart must be breaking. And out on the road, frustration kicks in and he types the word home. The voice says, "Thank you, now I can help. I know the way, so take a deep breath." And the old man relaxes, he closes his eyes. Her voice sounds familiar, the air smells like pies, cherry, blueberry, like she used to bake. Is this a dream? Is he still awake? And home, he commands, and the voice says, "I hear you, I see your position, now I can steer you." The tracking system, so worth the expense. His son had been right, at the time it made no sense, but she sees from above, her voice soft and soothing, her words filled with love and home. And the apple trees blossom with snow. Home, 83, and he's not alone. Home, his eyes closed, he's on his way home. Thank you. Thank you. When I wrote that song in the early 2000s, not everybody even had a GPS at the time. So it was just interesting introducing it because I couldn't just assume that people would figure it out. This will be my last song. Thank you so much for listening. And this one is not recorded yet. I was in the kitchen, just minding my own business, doing some cooking, and the first line came. And I'm like, darn it, I don't have time for this now. But you can't really say that to the muse because you can't guarantee she's gonna come back. So I'm like, all right, fine. I don't know about you guys, but lately whenever I hear the news, I feel like everything that I believe in is under attack personally, and it's very disheartening. And at the same point, there's all this heartening stuff going on. People are protesting, people are resisting, people are marching, and especially on the local level, yeah, that's right. So this song is like a convergence of the two of those things. It's called Battle of Ages. The liars and grifters, the sneaky shapeshifters, had come for a holiday toast. They each raised their glass, said something quite crass, then bragged as to who'd lied the most. They made sexist cracks, patted each other's backs as they toasted the demise of truth. They wore suits of ostrich or snakeskin, each so rich beyond wildest dreams of their youth. And they laughed at their still honest peers, who struggled with conscience and fears of divine retribution, who sought absolution for taking no action for years. Meanwhile, in the alley, someone I'll call Sally stood tall on a rusty old bin. She looked pretty fragile, but she was quite agile. Her strength came from somewhere within. She read all the news, though it gave her the blues. She made phone calls and wrote poignant letters. She was planning a rally right there in the alley. Her country she knew could do better, and her friends soon were gathered there too. A boisterous and bold motley crew. They stood in long lines, waving placards and signs, and sang songs of truth they still knew. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine. Now, I could throw in some magic to stave off the tragic, inspire some much needed change. Oh, I could bring in the devil, make Sally an angel, or something as equally strange. But I'll leave this scene as it begins, with the crowds below gathering as darkness descends. It's the battle of ages, the war of greed rages, with children in cages, while we turn the pages, still seeking out sages, moving forward in stages. Who knows what's beyond the next bend? Though it's been quite a ride, perhaps truth hasn't died, and we'll turn the tide in the end. Yes, truth hasn't died. Ride, Sally, ride, and we'll turn the tide in the end. Thank you very much.